Sloths, the internet's favorite lazy animal. Cute, slow, always smiling. They sleep 15 hours a day, hang out in trees, and seem to have zero worries. Everyone wants to be a sloth, right? Just chill all day, no stress, living their best life. Wrong. Completely wrong. If you were actually born as a sloth, you'd realize within the first week that you're trapped in one of nature's cruelest jokes. You're not relaxed. You're starving. You're not peaceful. You're defenseless. And that smile, that's just your face. You're actually miserable. Today, we're breaking down why being born a sloth is an absolute nightmare from start to finish. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a sloth the same way again. Let's start with your birth, which is already a disaster. You're born high up in a tree canopy, clinging to your mother as she hangs upside down from a branch. Sounds cozy until you realize one critical fact. If you lose your grip, you die. That's it. You fall 50 to 100 feet straight to the forest floor, and that's game over. And baby sloths fall all the time. Your tiny claws aren't fully developed yet. Your muscles are weak. Your mother is moving through the trees, and you're just desperately holding on for dear life. One wrong move, one moment of weakness, and you're plummeting to your death before you even get to experience life. But let's say you don't fall. Congratulations, you get to experience the joy of being completely dependent on possibly the worst mother in the animal kingdom. Not because she's mean, but because she's a sloth. She's slow, she's lazy, and she can barely take care of herself, let alone you. You are going to spend the next 6 months to a year clinging to her fur while she slowly, very slowly, moves through the trees looking for food. And when I say slowly, I mean it takes her an entire day to move 40 meters. That's less than half a football field in 24 hours. Now, here's where your life gets really miserable. Your diet. You eat leaves. Only leaves. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. Leaves are possibly the worst food source in nature, and your entire existence revolves around trying not to starve while eating them. Leaves have almost no nutritional value. They're mostly water and fiber. To get enough calories to survive, you have to eat constantly, and even then, you're barely getting by. Your metabolism is so slow that it takes you 2 weeks to digest a single meal. 2 weeks for your stomach to process leaves that gave you almost no energy in the first place. Do you know what that means? You're essentially always hungry but always full at the same time. Your stomach is constantly packed with fermenting leaves, but you're still starving because you're not getting enough nutrients. It's like being on a permanent diet of cardboard. You're eating all day and still malnourished. And because your diet is so terrible, you have no energy. None. You can't run. You can't fight. You can barely move. On a good day, you might relocate to a different branch. That's your big accomplishment. Moving 3 feet to the left. Your body temperature is a joke too. You can't regulate it properly because you don't have enough energy, so you're completely dependent on the weather. If it gets too cold, you literally can't move. You just hang there, freezing, waiting for the sun to warm you up enough to function again. And if it stays cold too long, you die, just frozen in place until you stop breathing. But wait, it gets worse. Remember how you eat only leaves? Well, leaves from different trees have different toxins, so you can't just eat any leaves. You have to stick to specific trees that your stomach has adapted to. If you accidentally eat from the wrong tree, you get poisoned. And because you move so slowly, it takes you forever to find the right trees. Your entire life is spent crawling through the canopy at a snail's pace, looking for the specific leaves you can digest, eating them for hours, and then sitting there for 2 weeks while your stomach slowly processes them. This is your daily routine. This is all you do. Now let's talk about predators, because oh boy, are you in trouble. You are literally the easiest prey in the rainforest. Eagles can spot you from the sky. Jaguars can climb trees and catch you. Snakes can slither right up to you. And you can't do anything about it. You can't run away. Your top speed on the ground is 0.15 miles per hour. A human walks at 3 miles per hour. Toddlers move faster than you. If a predator spots you, you're done. There's no escape. You just hang there and hope they don't notice you. Your only defense is camouflage. You have algae growing in your fur that turns you greenish, helping you blend into the trees. But that's not a defense strategy. That's just you being so dirty and slow that plants literally grow on you. You're so inactive that you become a mobile ecosystem. Moths live in your fur. Beetles crawl through it. You're not an animal at this point, you're a habitat. And when a predator does spot you, your defensive move is pathetic. You swipe at them with your claws. Slowly, very slowly. It takes you a full second to complete one swipe. Any predator with functioning eyes can just dodge it. Your attack is basically asking to be eaten in slow motion. But here's the absolute worst part of being a sloth. Once a week, you have to come down from your tree to poop. And this is where most sloths die. You heard that right. Your bathroom routine is your most dangerous activity. Because you can't poop in the trees like normal animals, you have to slowly, painfully climb all the way down to the forest floor, dig a little hole, do your business, and then climb all the way back up. This takes hours. And the entire time, you're completely exposed. You're on the ground where you're even slower and more vulnerable. Jaguars hunt on the forest floor. Ocelots patrol down there. Snakes are everywhere. And you're just sitting there, taking the world's slowest bathroom break, praying nothing finds you. Scientists estimate that nearly half of all sloth deaths happen during this weekly poop trip. Half. You have a 50-50 chance of dying every single time you need to use the bathroom. Imagine living like that. Once a week, you have to do something that might kill you, and you have no choice in the matter. And why do sloths do this? Why not just poop from the trees like every other animal? Nobody knows for sure. Some scientists think it's to fertilize their favorite trees. Others think it's to avoid attracting predators to their location by dropping waste from above. But honestly, neither explanation makes sense when you consider that half of you die doing it. Let's talk about your social life now. Oh wait, you don't have one. Sloths are almost completely solitary. You live alone, eat alone, and die alone. You barely interact with other sloths except to mate, and even that is awkward and brief. You don't have friends. You don't have family after you leave your mother. You don't have a community. You just hang in your tree by yourself, eating leaves, trying not to fall or get eaten, and occasionally pooping on the ground. And mating? Good luck with that. Female sloths are only receptive for a few days per year. So you have this tiny window to find a mate. And remember, you move at 0.15 miles per hour. By the time you slowly crawl to where you heard a female might be, she's probably already mated with someone else or moved to a different tree. If you do manage to mate, congratulations. If you're a male, your job is done and you go back to your solitary existence. If you're a female, you now get to carry a baby for 6 months while still eating terrible leaves, barely getting enough nutrition for yourself, let alone a growing fetus. And then when your baby is born, you have to carry it around for another 6 months to a year, which drains even more of your limited energy. And the whole time, you're hoping your baby doesn't fall and die, which, as we established earlier, happens frequently. Your lifespan in the wild is about 20 years if you're lucky. That's 20 years of hanging in trees, eating leaves that barely sustain you, moving in slow motion, being constantly vulnerable to predators, and risking your life once a week to poop. 20 years of essentially being a slow-motion target in a forest full of things that want to eat you. Oh, and one more thing. You know how sloths always look like they're smiling? That's not happiness. That's just how your face is shaped. You're not content. You're not zen. You're hungry, tired, vulnerable, and one bad day away from being someone's lunch. Your entire existence is a struggle against starvation, predation, and your own biological limitations. You're not living peacefully. You're surviving barely, on one of the worst diets in nature, with one of the worst defensive capabilities in the animal kingdom, in one of the most dangerous environments on Earth. The internet romanticizes sloths as these chill, carefree animals living their best lives. The reality is you're trapped in a body that can barely function, eating food that barely sustains you, moving so slowly that everything can catch you, and forced to risk your life weekly just to go to the bathroom. So the next time you see a cute sloth video and think, I wish I could be that relaxed, remember this. That sloth isn't relaxed. It's starving, it's exhausted, it's vulnerable, and it's one eagle away from being dinner. Being born a sloth isn't peaceful. It's a slow-motion nightmare. If you enjoyed learning the brutal truth about sloths, make sure to subscribe to Brutal Nature because we've got plenty more animals whose lives are way worse than you think. Next up, we're diving into why it sucks to be born a panda. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling me what animal you want exposed next, and I'll see you in the next video.